What is happening, guys? My name is Jamie. Today we are doing the best doom metal albums of 2020 so far. It is safe to say there has been a lot of doom metal albums this year, and a lot of people may have not realized that there has been a lot of doom metal albums. I was writing down my list and I said, holy shit, I love that album, I love this album. I have more than 10 albums, 10 doom metal albums of this year that I absolutely really enjoy and close to love. Now, of course, granted, probably a lot of you know my favorite doom metal album of the year already, but just for the fun of it, we're doing the best doom metal albums of 2020 so far. I have seen a lot of people, shout out to Metal Forge and also Doom Metalhead as well, that are exposing doom, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to expose doom myself. I absolutely love the genre. I think it is one of the best genres in the subgenre of metal. So we have 10 albums that I'm going to show you that I absolutely fucking love this year. But let's go to honourable mentions first. And the first honourable mention is Cloud and the album Durere. Really good, and I love the atmosphere on this album. It's very Swallow the Sun-like, so it sounds very similar to something out of Swallow the Sun, and his vocals are very cavernous at times, but I do love the orchestral feel. But yeah, Clouds had to make it. Next up is Konvent, Puritan, Masochist. This is an all-female DeathDoom band. Some of these songs are quite catchy, quite melodic as well. I love some of these songs, and I really love the gritty guitar work, and not to mention the drumming is fantastic. Her vocals are absolutely insane, very cavernous-like, and I love her growls. So yeah, Konvent easily gets into honourable mentions. So I don't know whether this is a doom metal album or not, but I'm gonna say it's sort of gothic, but Katatonia was like one of the pioneers of doom metal, so I'm putting Katatonia in, and their album City Burials. It's more of a gothic slash heavy metal album, but I absolutely love it. I love how atmospheric this album is. Jonas' vocals on this album are absolutely fantastic, and I just love how different this album is by Katatonia. But yeah, next up is Atasvist and the album 3, Absolution. Another great album, really did enjoy it. I just feel that the top 10 that I'm going to mention is slightly better than 3, Absolution. This is a side project by Winterfelleth, and I tell you what, some of these songs are absolutely aggressive, incorporate elements of black metal along with doom metal. Next up is Celestial Season. A very good album, really is. This is a Funeral Doom album. This was released this month, and I tell you what, it's an absolute banger. Really do enjoy the slow parts along with some really nice orchestral moments throughout this album as well. You get one of the best guitar solos, one of the best fucking guitar solos of the year. Celestial Season, the teachings, is going in honourable mentions. Next up is Dwaal, Gospel of the Vile. This album was very close to making my top 10, but it just didn't, unfortunately. Just because that I feel there are other better albums than Dwaal, Gospel of the Vile. But fuck me, it is a fantastic album. It really is. I give this like an 8 on even 8.5 or even 9 out of 10. It's such a really enjoyable album. It's very atmospheric in tone, and I just love how slow it is at times. But these vocals are the main star on this album. The guitar work is absolutely fantastic. Really love the chord progression. And yeah, Dwaal, Gospel of the Vile deserves to be in honourable mentions. Oh, and finally, Garganjua and the album Towards the Sun. This album was released in January, and holy shit, this is a mix of doom, post-metal, you could say, and sludgy moments. Atmospheric this album is as well. Vocals are beautiful and clean at times, but yet aggressive, and his growls are absolutely incredible. And stay tuned close to the end where I reveal my worst album, my worst doom metal album of 2020 so far. So let's kick off with number 10, and it's Marche, Funebre and the album Einderlicht. This album is really good. I love how atmospheric this album is. Incorporate elements of black metal, doom metal, funeral doom as well. But overall, these songs are quite aggressive in tone. Really got an awesome atmosphere as well. And I just love how unpredictable this album is. My favorite song being Deformed, which has an epic conclusion. Deformed, ra-ta-ta, reality. Oh, love it, love it. And his vocals, he switches between clean vocals, he switches between aggressive cavernous vocals, and then he switches to black metal vocals. This is a fantastic album, and it's only sitting at number 10. I was really struggling whether I should put this album or not, but of course there are a lot of doom metal elements, on this album. The Maelstrom mood, fantastic, along with the final song, Einderlicht, which is a beautiful way to close off the album. So Marche Funebre, Einderlicht sits here. Coming in at number 9 is Puritan and the album Immersion. This album is absolutely fantastic. I wasn't looking forward to this album, to be honest, when it was first released, but holy shit, this album grows on you. It fucking grows on you. How sludgy this album is at times. The moments of production is very murky, but it really matches this album, and when you listen to it, you just feel like you're falling into a well or something and trying to get out, trying to escape. The atmosphere just crushes you. My god, some of these songs like Lifer, Foul and Consumption are absolutely magnificent, and his vocals are incredibly demonic at times. I love just how slow and evil this album sounds, and not to mention, it's quite catchy as well, especially the first song, Lifer. So next up is Voidrot and the album Descending Pillars. This album really took me by surprise again. I only recently discovered this album and I said, holy shit, this is going to be in my top 10 albums, top 10 doom metal albums of the year so far. This is more of a DeathDoom album, pure DeathDoom album in my opinion, with some many different atmospheric moments, but his vocals are the main star. The vocals are very low in the mix, especially in the first song, which is Descending Pillars, but man, you have some really good guitar work, some really good drumming as well, really slow paced at times. What really escalates the songs to the next level are the overall vocals, just the atmosphere. Very atmospheric album. Voidrot do it so right. It just feels like you're trapped in a room and you're trying to get out as this demonic voice is just whispering in your ear throughout the whole entire fucking album. Then you got songs like Monolith, Descending Pillars Part 2. It really slows down the album, becomes more funeral doom. It's absolutely fucking fantastic. I just love this album, and I think this is one of the best albums of the year. So coming in at number 7 is Atramentus and the album Stygian, and I just love how atmospheric this album is. I keep saying it's atmospheric because, as you know, in Doom, it's atmosphere. Atmosphere is one of the main primers to really mix the emotions of Doom and everything like that, and Atramentus do it right, they really do, and I just love how gothic this album feels because they incorporate many different piano melodies along with organ moments as well. This album is chuggingly slow, it really is, and I've got to say Stygian 3 is probably the best song of the album just because you get some really immaculate guitar solos throughout this particular song, running about 24 minutes as well, the last song. And at the end, the whole album transitions into black metal, especially with the incredible blast beats. Overall, this album is like a crescendo towards the final 3 minutes of this fucking album. The final 3 minutes of this fucking album is one of the best closers in my opinion, just because of how unpredictable when they incorporate these wall blast beats at the conclusion, and not to mention his vocals are so damn intense. Now, he does sound like a frog sometimes, something out of Mortal Decay you could say. He uses his throat vocals so damn well. Even Stygian 2 is sort of an interlude that builds up to Stygian 3, but Stygian 3 is one of the best doom metal songs of the year in my opinion. It's so damn slow. In case you don't know, this is a funeral doom album running about 45 minutes as well. What can you say? It's another great album of 2020. Coming at number 6 is Funeral Leech, Death Meditation. This is complete opposite to Atramentus, but god damn it, this is a fun fucking album. Now, it's a little bit better than Voidrot in my opinion, just because of the overall melodies. The overall melodies are very catchy. I love the gritty guitar riffs, and the guitar riffs on this album are quite melodic as well. The vocals in my opinion are a lot better than Voidrot. The vocals are a lot higher in the mix, which really creates this atmospheric vibes. There are a few synth moments on this album that creates this gothic sort of vibe, but god damn it, some of these songs like Downpour, along with Statues and the Bird and Flesh, his vocal performance on this album is absolutely fantastic. And there, of course, there are some sound effects, like in the introduction of the Downpour, you get basically pouring rain, which just creates a doomy and gloomy effect towards the listener, because you know you're in for a hell of a ride. And not to mention that weird fucking intro with the statues, but god damn it, it's a fun fucking album. Fun fucking DeathDoom album. If you haven't listened to Funebre, Leech and Death Meditation, what the fuck are you doing? Go listen to this album. Go listen to this album and come back and comment what you thought about Funebre, Leech, Death Meditation. Coming at number 5 is Convocation, Ashes, Coalesce. Oh, this album is absolutely fantastic, it really is. Incorporate elements of Funeral Doom, Death Doom as well, but so many different genres fused into this album. Really love it, really love the gritty guitar tone, love how atmospheric this album is, and it's one hell of a fucking ride. I think around about 4 songs as well on this album, being probably my favourite song is Martyrized, along with Miserable Form and Portal Close is an epic concluder to the album, and I just love how slow paced this album is. The drumming is fantastic, and it just is another adventurous doom metal album for you to enjoy. Very dark and melancholy moments on this album. It's a ride to the end of this album, and that's why it's sitting at number 5. So coming at number 4 is Bough, Witch and Error and Ruin and the album Stygian Bough Volume 1. This album is absolutely fantastic. I was really surprised. Although it's not as good as Bough Witch's previous work, this is still a fucking banger, because it is when you listen to this album over and over again, the melodies get stuck in your head, and especially the Bastard Wind, which has a beautiful acoustic vibe throughout the introduction, that the acoustic melody, it just gets stuck in your head. I just love his vocals. I love the vocal performance on this album. The album does get heavier and heavier throughout. Then you got this song called The Unbodied Air, which is one of the best songs I've heard of the year. Absolutely adore it. But yeah, this is a very atmospheric album. Good mix of acoustics and electric guitar, some really nice drum work. I really did enjoy it. Bough, Witch and Error and Ruin just incorporate that atmosphere that is so damn good. Coming in at number 3 is Drowned, Subaqueous. This is a very interesting album. I just really love it. I really do. And there are only 2 songs running about 40 minutes this album, but this is a very slow album, and it just basically just feels like you are drowning. It really does. They create this atmosphere which it feels like you are underwater. Not to mention the beautiful guitar work you're getting, the really nice melodies as well. But his vocals are one of the most evilest vocals of the year, in my opinion. The Drown's vocalist, wow, absolutely demonic and evil in tone, but yet his vocals are quite low in the mix, so his vocals really sound like another instrument in my opinion. But damn, it's just the overall instrumentals that really create this layer of atmosphere, and to me this band reminds me of something like Evoken and even Doomverse. Yeah, this is a very similar album to Atramentus as well, except Drowned is a little bit better than Atramentus in my opinion, but it's an absolute fucking banger. It really is. It's a great Funeral Doom album that everyone should listen to. So coming up next is a DeathDoom album that really took me by surprise. It is Temple of Void, The World That Was. This is indeed going to be in my top 20 albums of the year at the end of the year, because I don't know what can beat this album in my opinion, apart from the next album. But yeah, Temple of Void is absolutely fantastic. I have listened to all of Temple of Void's stuff, and I think every single album is close to perfection. Some absolutely amazing bangers on this album, such as kick off the album, which is A Beast Among Us. I love the chugging riffs, really love the cavernous vocals as well. Not to mention Casket of Shame. Holy shit. This is Quest for Metal's favourite song as well. He loves this fucking song. He fucking wanks over this song. He loves it. Then you got And the World That Was. Just an absolutely fantastic album. What really stands out on this album are the vocals, the atmosphere, and the fucking drumming. I love the drum fills on this album, the really nice transitions. This album is slow, but it can get very fast. It reminds of bands such as Incantation and Autopsy. So yeah, one of the best albums of the year so far. And before we go to number one, the worst fucking doom metal album of the year so far is Yarrow, We Made What God Could Not. This album is a fucking disgrace, it really is. I don't care, I hate this album, I really do. I heard this album and I fucking hated it. This is a funeral doom album, but holy shit, the vocals sound like a fucking grandma. And it's just screaming nonsense, a fucking terrible album, I hate it. I really do. The album cover's pretty good, that's why I fucking heard it. But holy shit, there's nothing redeemable about this album. It gets like a 0 out of 10. Stay the fuck away from it. It's a horrible album. Next up and finally, my number one pick of the best doom metal album of 2020. It goes to Paradise Lost and the album Obsidian. Holy shit, this is a fantastic album, really is. There's nothing much I can say about this album. This is a perfect album, perfect Paradise Lost album. And Paradise Lost amalgamate all their sounds into one album, all their previous sounds into one album. Absolutely fantastic album. I just love the guitar tone on this album. Love Nick's vocals on this album as well. The drumming is immaculate. The amazing atmosphere they provide as well. DeathDoom, elements of DeathDoom, elements of gothic metal, so damn good. Doom metal. This is Paradise Lost's best album in my opinion. I did an album ranking and I put Paradise Lost Obsidian their best album because it is, in my opinion. It is. This is an absolute masterpiece by Paradise Lost, and it's a masterpiece in the doom metal genre. Absolutely fucking loved it. Paradise are the pioneers of the DeathDoom, and holy shit, what an incredible album. Paradise Lost gone back to their roots. Get amazing songs like Darker Thoughts, fucking Ghosts, and The Foolish Trust. The Devil Embraced. The Devil Embraced as well. Holy shit. Absolutely incredible album. It really is. And it is my favorite doom metal album of the year so far. Foolish Trust. So guys, comment below your favourite doom metal album of the year so far. Do you agree or disagree in my opinion? Keep the discussion going in the comment section below, and I will see you in the next one.